beam of light took her bow, and then she turned to go. The Prince of Peace embraced the gloom and walked the night alone. Dancing in the dark and light seemed to him more. Dark Lord rides in force tonight, and time will tell us all. Throw down your blindfold, rest not to lock your hold. Side by side, we wait the night of the darkest all I hear Horace's thunder down in the valley below. I'm waiting for the angels of Babylon, waiting for the eastern glow. The apples of the valley, oh, the seeds of happiness. Ground is rich from tender care, repay, do not forget. No, no, no.
Look. Some of the political players and some of the let me ask a rhetorical question. No, anyway.
Now that's an insurrection.
I love her. I do. I actually do. I love Actually. It's a good movie. And I tell you, she loves me. She loves me like a rock. She loves me, loves me, loves me, loves me. And so look, to be honest, I'm just tickled to death that she's my vice president. And I mean that, not literally. You know, I don't want to be, you know, tickled to death, but I'd tell you the truth, if I had to go, tickled to death would be the way to go. Like, you know, that Tickle Me Elmo, good guy. I got him working on the vaccine. But look, I'll tell you right now, and I'd like to say it right to Kamala. Kamala, you're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful.
I wish he was.
You can't be sleepy. You've been sleeping for 16 hours. Whoa, 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 whoa. Put on the brakes. Put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed effers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, and little dogs too. You got anything to say this week? Oh, I know, it's dog torture.
He's so badly done for, isn't he?
He's toast. What's the matter? Now you need some more power sleep? Haven't slept enough yet? 16 hours isn't enough? Okay. Hand me your old timer. He's getting old. He just wants to hang out near the wood stove. Anyways, where are we? Who are we? Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Don't look at me. It's your show, dog. It's the dog show. Beware of dog. He's gone. He's just gone. Looking for a place to hide.
Are you ready?
Anyways, yes, we're ready. You are watching It's News to Us. Thanks, Philo. In the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, the College of Musical Knowledge, where Newport's oldest TV news watchers new Brown Q. As the locals say, it all things in adult language, but not really. Here's a cadaver in chief. Oh, man. He's getting really off the hook. He yelled at a reporter the other day for being a stupid SOB, and he didn't say SOB. He's old and he's angry, and we knew that. Beware of the Bronze Age invisible sky god. He's going to beat you and forgive you and beat you and forgive you. And here's old Joe right here, the old gazer in chief. Get off my lawn. And he's the curmudgeon in chief, man. It's just insane. And we knew that in the primaries. Remember, he'd start arguing with people. He'd get away from his handlers. Yeah, you're fat. You know, and oh, you want to get down and do a push-up contest? All kinds of stupid crap, man. They wouldn't let him out of the basement. And then, you know, he was out during the primaries in Iowa, and then when the virus hit, they kept him hidden in the basement, never asked him any questions except like, oh, what kind of ice cream is that, Mr. Vice President? Oh, I think it's chocolate. I can't tell. My taste buds are gone. But anyways, he's toast.
And Bernie nailed him on a bunch of lies.
Oh, Bernie. Yeah, Bernie friggin' chopped him up and spit him out. And, but no, the system wouldn't allow Bernie because Bernie, like Trump, is nobody's monkey. He's,
Speaking of Bernie, I got a good story for you.
Yeah?
Yeah. He walked a picket line with some strikers down in D.C.
Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, did you see over the weekend they had a anti-vaccine mandate rally at the Capitol?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was a big one, and it was hardly covered on the network news. And,
I'm having a beer, Steve.
yeah.
See?
All right, I've got a mixed drink in here. There's no drinking in the studio. Yeah, no gambling allowed. ALOUD. Anyways, so they had the anti-mandate people down there, and then they had the anti-mandate, the pro-mandate people down there, right? And you know what they were screaming, Philo?
Oh, lay it on me.
They were screaming, "We love Fauci! We love Fauci!" And then they'd go, "We love Fauci!" Quack, quack, quack. And it's like they didn't even dawn on them that they're like, you know, they're saying quack, quack, quack right after Fauci's name. The biggest quack on the planet, a guy who hasn't treated a single patient in 50 years. It's just nuts. And,
Well, I don't know if I sent it to you, but there is a person on the head of the board of directors at Pfizer that's saying they have to stop these masks, no more mandates for vaccines.
it's over, man. Boris Johnson declared, just like Vietnam, declare victory and get the hell out. Boris Johnson did it in England, and the pro-mask people are saying, "Oh no, you can't do that. He's just deflecting people away from looking at his drunk parties he had last year, or the year before, or whatever it was." It's like, you know, who the hell cares? He had parties at number 10 Downing Street because they knew back then that the virus didn't kill you if you weren't old and sick and overweight and have friggin' a bunch of conditions. Mm-hmm. Oh man. So anyways, and last night, they just dumped a bunch of single Mexican men, or third worlders that came in, paid the smugglers $2,000 apiece to get over the border, and they held them for a while, and then they just let them go in Brownsville, Texas. They all took taxis so that Steve Mnuchin guy from Fox, or whatever his name, Beluga, they followed the taxis, and the taxis all went from downtown Brownsville out to the airport, and they hopped on planes. Now, mind you, if you're coming into this country from any other country, you have to have a visa, a passport. If you're an American citizen, you need a driver's license, and a proof of vaccination to get on a plane, and you have to wear a mask. But if you're an illegal alien, they're letting them use their arrest warrants for identification. They have no pictures on them, no nothing, no information. It's just a piece of paper that says, you know,
You've been arrested.
yeah, this is my arrest warrant or my deportation warrant. It's just insane, man. It's just insane.
What are these Democrats thinking anyway?
These snowflakes, they're following George Soros's friggin' mantra. Everybody, we're all citizens of the globe. There's no borders. There's just people. Yeah, right. Okay.
No, this is what they wanted with the New World Order, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is what they wanted.
They're angering everybody, okay? They are going to face a backlash next fall that you are not going to believe. They're already trying to defy the new governor of Virginia. He got in there and right away he got rid of the mask mandates and vaccine mandates and every other damn thing. And they're pushing back hard, but hey, too bad, man. And the same thing with the lieutenant governor, too. He fired like 90% of the people on the parole board, Philo, because they had a bunch of friggin' flaming libs had got on the parole board, and they were letting out everybody and their brother-in-law out of jail. Didn't matter, murder, this, that, no problem. You're doing 20 to life for, killing people? Hey, no problem. Well, they're black, and they're underprivileged and marginalized and vulnerable, and they've been, they've had a tough life, Your Honor, and they deserve to be let free. No. What we're seeing, the pendulum's gonna swing back to what it was in the early 90s, like where they have Hillary on tape and Biden too, saying, look, I don't care why these guys did what they did. It's just the fact that they did what they did. And I don't care if you're black or brown or white. Oh, speaking of which, on Martin Luther King Day, Philo, they ran a documentary on Turner Classic Movies called The Murder of Fred Hampton. Remember my old buddy Fred Hampton? The Black Panther from Chicago, and who said, "Look, we don't care what color you are. If you're from Appalachia and you're on the bottom of the food chain, white power. If you're Hispanic, brown power." He said, "We got to get together. We can't, the Panthers, everybody. We got to unite." And that was it, Mister. They murdered him in his sleep. FBI, nice guys. Anyways. Philo, you've driven millions of miles like I have, right?
A few.
Yeah. I've driven cross-country probably, 10, 12 times at least. Then up and down on the West Coast and back and forth. I probably logged 250,000 miles. I used to drive from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts twice a month. It was just crazy. And over the years, I always obeyed all the traffic laws, right? But you know what, Philo? Lately, I'm just gone full Mr. Magoo. You know what I mean? If I come to a red light and there's a red arrow and there's nobody there's nobody at the intersection, Philo, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to take that left-hand turn because there's nobody there. I'm not going to sit there and waste gas waiting for some stupid-ass mechanical timer. If we got artificial intelligence, they ought to be able to have sensors now that sense traffic patterns and do something, right?
They do in some places.
I would hope so.
I know that I remember many years ago, gosh, it had to be at least 10, 15 years ago, the librarian was down here. The electrician, Ray?
Yeah.
He and his son, Tim, were working on the sensors in the ones in the ground downtown.
Oh, in Vermont news, too. Our Secretary of State, Jim Condos, had set up a truth committee or truth website so people could find out the real truth about election fraud, right, Philo? And I see him on TV, and you know what he had the audacity to say on TV on network news here in Burlington, Channel 3?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me what those guys put on.
He says, well, it was out of Condo's own mouth, so go figure. He said, it's truth, but it's lies. It's truth, but it's lies. Okay, then. Yeah.
You mean there are known knowns that we know and known knowns that we don't know?
And known unknown knowns. And the Democratic Party, their whole agenda's failing. They're coddling criminals.
But
Trump
they get elected in Vermont, though.
Yeah.
That woman is going to be, they've already touted that woman is going to take Pee Wee Welch's place as the first Vermont representative to be a woman.
Oh, I have ovaries. Send me to Washington. If everybody would get out and vote, maybe we could send down a conservative for the first time in 40 years. And
that's what they call gender. They call it identity politics.
Yeah, you think?
The first gay, the first black, the first Hispanic, the first woman.
Yeah. Oh, well, we've got to the point where we don't give a crap anymore. You know what?
We don't. I don't care.
Screw it. We're all done with it.
Not.
If you're going to go down there and just hang out with your friggin' lib friends and ruin this country, I mean, Trump was letting people out of jail. but they were non-violent drug offenses mostly. And so they're coddling criminals. You know, nobody gives a crap about global warming. This Vermont climate report came out and said, oh, the state of Vermont is warmed up by 2 degrees in 120 years. Oh, great. And their fascist mandates and stuff versus real laws. They opened up the borders. Now that's grounds for impeachment right there. If they take back the House and the Senate, which I hope they do, it's like, hey, no, you know, don't let him do it. He's already for 2 years he will have been letting people in illegally. He is not enforcing the laws of the United States, which he swore he'd uphold. So there's grounds for impeachment right there.
I don't even know why they bother to swear him in. They don't do what they say anyway.
Yeah, well, Trump did. God bless him. I mean, you know, he was a blowhard, but there was no question that he loved this country, and it took that stupid virus to take his ass out. And
A manufactured virus.
yeah, you think?
Definitely was. Definitely was.
Yeah, and when Joe was in Colorado a couple weeks ago, he said that a lot of people had dolated water and barely, and bravely went back in. And then he was talking about windmills with 100-yard wingspan each. They have a long wingspan, and they're made in reviewable labs, not renewable, reviewable labs. And he was talking about the hurricane in Kentucky, or the tornadoes, and he kept saying the debris removal. The guy can't even speak. He's barking at reporters. He's yelling at people. It's like, what the hell have we did? We told you about this guy. We told you, but oh no, we don't like Trump's tweet. And now these pajama boys are going to try and get us into a war with the Ukraine. And here's Tony the pajama boy right here, because these are all Obama holdovers. Oh, and look at this. Did you know that the Earth's core is warming? It's cooling faster than ever, Philo?
I read that, yep.
We're screwed. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. This is from I Love Science News from Thursday, the 20th. Earth's interior is cooling faster than previously estimated, according to a recent study. Wonders how long people can live on the planet. There's no timetable, but it could eventually turn us solid like Mars. A new study in the Earth and Planetary Science Letters focuses on how quickly the core might cool by studying brigmanite, a heat-conducting mineral commonly found at the boundary between the core and mantle. Our results could give us a new perspective on the evolution of Earth's dynamics, said Zurich professor Motohiko Murakami.
Oh, an Irish guy.
Yeah, he's an Irish guy. Hey! The boundary between the Earth's outer core and mantle is where the internal heat and interaction exist. The scientific team studied how much brigmanite conducts in the Earth's core and found higher heat flow coming from the core into the mantle, dissipating the overall heat and cooling much faster than initially thought. Run for your lives! Well, it looks like the global warming ain't gonna matter, right, Philo?
It's not global warming anyway, it's climate change.
It is now.
Climate change is going to happen regardless, because we don't sit here.
It was the coming ice age when we were kids, remember?
Well, just remember this. This Earth has been here billions of years, and it's had many climate changes. And it's going to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching a lot of the Science Channel and stuff, and they were talking about, they run Ancient Aliens too on Monday nights.
Yeah, I see that once in a while.
On the History Channel, yeah, and they were speculating on how many species of animals that were here that didn't leave a fossil record. You know, it's incredible.
Uh-oh, they only had 6,000 years though, so they had to do it quick. Right?
Well, what gets me is there was some kind of intervention, man. They still haven't found the missing link. You know what I mean?
I used to work with him. His name was Shorty Carpenter. He was halfway between.
The missing link, yeah. His knuckles dragged when he went to the break room. Yeah, here we are. No breakthrough in talks on Ukrainian crisis. It's like nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. It's no crisis. What about our border? Who cares about the Ukrainian border? What about our border?
Well, this is what Tucker Carlson said. The Republicans are only interested in getting into another war.
Oh, yeah. They're all salivating. And not the media, the defense industry, all their spokespeople, they don't tell you how many of these people, these so-called experts, sit on boards of defense contractor companies. Oh, no. Here's another one. Plan, gain more STEM students globally. The Bite Me administration on Friday announced policy changes to attract international students specializing in science, tech, engineering, and math. Part of an effort to make the U.S. economy more competitive. Oh, so we're going to bring in foreign students to learn math and science while we're making our kids hate this country and telling them how bad Whitey is. Okay, sure. What could go wrong with that, Philo?
I don't understand. I mean, what are they going to do with all these kids from RIT and RPI and all these engineering schools? What are they going to do with those kids?
Yeah.
They've all been, they're all good engineers.
Well, the Supreme Court is going to rule on the Harvard case and the UNC case because they haven't been allowing kids in for their scores. They'll let in some black and Hispanic dummies because they're black and Hispanic versus Asian and white students that score in the top of their percent, their whatever it is.
I noticed at Dartmouth when my grandson was there were a lot of Asian kids there, and they are very sharp.
Yeah, that's because Dartmouth don't screw around, man. It ain't like Harvard where they're politically correct. And here we are right here. Yeah, NATO. Oh, here we go. It's called Operation Change the Forking Subject. Right? His numbers are down because of inflation and 2 million people invasion on the southern border, and gas prices, fuel prices, and everything. But it's, we better change the subject. Oh, look over here. Look at that shiny object.
Did anybody forget? Did everybody forget that we're still have a war in Iraq?
Yeah, well, we're peacekeepers, Philo.
Yeah.
Russia's nearest NATO neighbors of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Latvia, that's where swamp Viking comes from.
Yeah, that's where Tanya was from, too.
Yeah, said they plan to send anti-tank and anti-aircraft missiles. Okay, sure. When? Let's see. Diverse political, business, and energy interests have long divided the 27-country bloc in its approach to Moscow. You think? The two major powers appear most cautious. French President Macron has renewed previously rejected calls for an EU summit with Putin. And late on Saturday, the head of the German Navy, Vice Admiral K. Achim Schoenbach, resigned after coming under fire for saying that Ukraine would not regain the Crimean Peninsula and for suggesting that Putin deserves respect. Well, Crimea is, like I said a million times, is home of their biggest naval base. You think they're going to give up their naval base? And they didn't take it. They didn't just annex it like the Israelis did to East Jerusalem. They actually put it to a vote. And you know what? And the people on Crimea voted to go with Russia because they didn't want to go with the crazy Ukrainians because the Ukrainians have inflation and corruption that would, make a Chicago ward healer blush. It's insane. Oh, yeah. NATO said Monday it's bolstering its deterrence. Denmark is sending a frigate, wow, and deploying F-16s to Lithuania. What? To Lithuania. They won't give them to the Ukrainians. You notice that? Oh, we'll give them to the Lithuanians. They're close enough. Spain is sending 4 fighter jets to Bulgaria and 3 ships to the Black Sea to join NATO naval forces. France stands ready to send troops to Romania. Oh, yeah. The French motto. They're cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Come on. Netherlands also plans to send 2 F-35s to Bulgaria from April. From April? You mean in April? What the hell? Who wrote this? Robert Burns and Lauren Cook. 2 of them wrote the article. Can't get it right. And here we are here. Oh, this is classic, man. This is classic. There's two of them here. One, it's like the Grateful Dead song, Scarlet Begonias. Once in a while you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. Baltic nations to ship U.S. arms to Ukraine. Okay, so you read the article, and most people, like I always say, you have to read the article from back to front. Thanks, Philo. And this is from Sunday's paper. And way at the back, right? It says it wasn't immediately known when the weapons and equipment would be sent to Ukraine. Yeah, of course, because they're not going to give them up. Now get this. In a separate development, Estonia is seeking Germany's approval to send Soviet-made howitzers, which once belonged to East Germany, to the Ukraine. Estonia acquired the howitzers from non-NATO member Finland, which in turn had bought them from Germany's surplus in the 1990s. Now, okay, so what the hell? In the 1990s, when Germany merged and they got rid of communist East Germany, when the wall came down in the late 80s, early 90s, they got Soviet-era howitzers. Now, mind you, these are cannons from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right, Philo?
Yep.
So they got these cannons, and they sold them to Finland, okay, or acquired them, gave them to Finland, or whatever. No, Finland bought them from Germany, okay? So Finland buys the cannons from Germany, and then Estonia wants them now to use it in case of Ivan showing up, and they have to get approval from Germany? Could you imagine if that happened with a car sale, Philo? Well, I'd like to sell you this car, but I have to go back and ask the guy who bought it from the factory if he'll let you have it. What?
If it's a German car, they got to go back to Germany and ask if they sold them the car.
Yeah. Like the thing in the Bible where it says that everybody had to go to their place of their birth for the census. No, it don't work that way.
I don't buy that story anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen it written in any other history book that I've read.
No, you take the census of where people are, fools.
That's right.
The German government said Friday it was considering Estonia's request to pass the howitzers to Ukraine, but gave no timeline for a decision. Of course not, because they're not going to anger the people who are sending them natural gas to keep their German asses warm. You idiots. Because they've gone all electric, and what good has it done? It hasn't done them squat for good because, let's face it, with no nuclear and no coal, the only thing they have left is gas, because the solar panels and windmills just ain't enough to power the whole country. It's insane. Let's see. Berlin said it planned to coordinate the issue with Finland, which has received a similar approval request from Estonia. Some recent media reports suggest that German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's cabinet has blocked Estonia's transfers of weapons to Ukraine, pointing to strains in the West's response to the Ukraine crisis. So what the hell's going on here? NATO ain't cooperating with any other NATO. What the hell is going on? You know what I mean? What the hell? Oh, you gotta love this. Weber Grills apologized Friday for sending a recipe of the week email featuring instructions on barbecued meatloaf. The email from the grill maker coincided with the news of the death of Meatloaf, who died Thursday at 74. Not long after sending out the recipe, Weber Grill follows up offering its sincerest apologies. It's like, here's your meatloaf recipe. Oh, here we are. Bandsaw Bob carries his own arm in Lewiston, Maine, Philo. Now, what do we know about people in Lewiston, Maine, Philo?
Very little.
They're mostly, half the population are Somalis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like the largest Somali population in New England. You lost, Mac. Mac, you want something to eat? Oh, I don't know. I'm just a dog, you know. It's tough being a dog. I forget where I am. I'm old. Yeah, so it doesn't say what the guy's name is. Divine Intervention. This is from Sunday's paper again. Divine intervention. Man carrying his own severed arm is saved. Lewiston, Maine. A man who stumbled along a street while carrying his own severed arm was saved by 2 public workers who saw him and were trained in the use of tourniquets. It happened to be divine intervention because 2 of my best guys just happened to be there sanding sidewalks. It couldn't have been better guys for this kind of situation. Witnesses said the man's arm was cut off Friday near the shoulder, apparently in a workplace accident. Members of the public, now here's another thing. How could it be cut off at the shoulder? Unless he was cutting off something like this thick on a bandsaw, right, Philo? Mm-hmm. Because the bandsaw has a guide that slides up and down. You know, if you're cutting something that's only a half-inch thick, you loosen it up and drop the guide so it's a half-inch thick. So that if you slip or anything happens, you hit the guide. You don't hit the friggin' saw blade. Because if it'll cut through steel, it'll cut through your arm like nothing.
Pretty easily, yes.
Yeah. Let's see. The members of the public work crew applied a tourniquet while waiting for the ambulance. Probably saved his life. Investigators followed a trail of blood back to a business where several people said the man had been operating a bandsaw. Now, wait a minute. The guy's working at an outfit, cuts his arm off with a bandsaw. Nobody stops work and goes out looking for the guy, Philo?
I don't get it.
Hooga booga booga, I'm going back to Somalia. I have had it with this stuff. This is insane. OSHA was alerted. No kidding. The injured man, whose name was not released, I'm thinking it's Ogadugu Wagabunga, was taken to a hospital and expected to survive. It was unclear whether they could reattach his arm. Oh, sure. Oh, prosecutors aren't going to... No charges on a guy who fell through a jogger who fell through a rusted staircase near BU. Oh, I killed him. Davy Jones was out for a run when he plunged through a broken section of the staircase on MBTA property at JFK Station in September. It was deemed unsafe, and the stadies reported top and bottom were blocked. Photos showed that several stairs were missing. Let's see. Dr. Jones be here. Jones was an associate professor in the Department of Health, Law, and Policy Management at BU's School of Public Health. Okay, so all those degrees didn't give him enough common sense to stay off a rusted staircase, huh, Philo?
Who knows?
That was blocked at each end saying, stay away, unsafe.
Well, that might have given him a clue, but I don't know.
Yeah, he was educated. He was an educated idiot, evidently. Okay, now here's another one. Now, this is weird. Listen how they put this. Now, in 2014, it was perfectly okay for the United States to go into the Ukraine and have an uprising, okay, a so-called uprising, and remove a duly elected prime minister of the Ukraine. Because freedom, right, Philo?
Yeah, right. Just like they did with Mossadegh, right?
Starting with Mossadegh, exactly, after World War II, Mossadegh, and in South Vietnam, and El Salvador, and friggin' Chile, oh yeah, Salvador Allende. It's just insane. It goes on and on and on. It's okay for us to do it, but not anybody else. Let's see. These politicians include Mykola Azarov, former prime minister under Viktor Yanukovych, the Ukrainian president ousted in a 2014 uprising, and his former chief of staff, Andrew Kluyev. Yeah, let's see. Because they had links to a Russian intelligence. Oh, sure. Muriev told the AP that the Brit claims look ridiculous and funny. He's been denied entry to Russia since 2018 on the grounds of being a threat to Russian security. Okay, we don't need to have our facts straight. I'm surprised this showed up in the paper. But get this. Let's see. U.S. Secretary of State and Pajama Boy Antony Blinken said he couldn't comment specifically about the British claim. We've been warning about just kind of tactics for weeks. This is very much part of the Russian toolkit. It runs the gamut from a large conventional incursion or invasion of Ukraine to these kinds of destabilizing activities in an attempt to topple the government. And it's important that people be on notice about that, he said in an interview with the Clinton News Network. Get this, this kills me. The UK government made the claim based on an intelligence assessment without proving any evidence to back it up. Where have we seen that before? Can you say Russia, Russia, Russia like the Trump thing and the 40 million we spent on Mueller's whatever it was, special counsel, and it all came down to nothing? Nothing? That they dogged a U.S. president all through his campaign, spied on him, and then nipped at his heels for 4 friggin' years? Oh, yeah, that's our intelligence. And no evidence, though. Okay, sure. Yeah. These politicians include the former prime minister under Yanukovych, the president ousted in a 2014 uprising. Yeah, remember Samantha Powers, they was there handing out cookies to the Orange Revolution, and John McCain went over there, and he was all like saying, yeah, we're going to send you money, lawyers, guns, and money. Everything's coming. Don't mind us. The taxpayers, the saps in the United States will pay for it. And here we are. IRS overload as filing season opens on Monday. Oh, they're overloaded, Philo, right? Most of it's all done by computer now anyways, but they're overloaded. Why are they saying they're overloaded? Because part of this stupid Build Back Better thing is Biden wanting to hire 75,000 new IRS agents to snoop on your butts. It's just insane, man. It's insane. Vermont officials offer aid for stress and burnout, Philo. It's crazy. Okay, here we are too. Poll. Let's. What did he say, Bal? Look out, Bal. You're gonna in for a problem, said Old Crow Dementia Joe. Polls show Biden's approval falling to a new low. Well, nobody screwed up this fast ever. I mean, we're talking, you'd have to go back to like what? The Franklin Pierce administration or something, right, Philo?
Way before our time.
Oh, man. I mean, even Jimmy Carter meant well. They had to take him down because he was nobody's monkey. But this guy is their monkey, and he's still screwing up. The first thing he does to get into office is to shut down oil and gas leases, pipelines, just everything. Yeah, just. And
then let more immigrants and refugees in.
Oh, fling open the borders. I mean, he's just blowing it left and right. And did you see that Ron DeSantis down in Florida said if he could find a way, if he knew a way to be able to stop these flights of illegal aliens coming into Florida, he was going to send them to transit them from Florida to Delaware.
I saw that.
Or Martha's Vineyard.
You know something though? I know all about DeSantis.
Yeah.
And Trump is all pissed off at him already for daring to challenge him for the Republican nomination.
Well, he should. Trump is losing it, man.
Yes, he is.
Because I was watching an interview. This is horrible because I can't stand watching Sean Hannity. I can handle Tucker because he's great.
And he's fairly neutral too.
Yeah.
Fairly, not altogether, but fairly.
He goes after pretty much everybody and anybody. Laura Ingraham, she's okay because she gets a couple of good nuggets every now and then. She gets some good tips. But Hannity, man, he's off the charts. But anyways, he says, coming soon, our interview with President Trump. I'm all like, okay, this I got to see. So he asked Trump, this is a phone interview, okay? He asked Trump, he says, because Sean Hannity's noted for his long-winded questions, even if they're not really questions, they're statements, sort of. Long statements with a sort of question thrown in there. So he asked Trump, he says, do you think Biden will revert back to your policies to get the country back on track, or will he keep banging his head against the wall, over and over again? So all Trump hears is wall, Philo, right? Mm-hmm. All he heard was wall. So he starts going on, well, we were building that wall, and we had a bunch of it ready to go, and you need the fiber optics and all this other stuff, and we really need that. Now that wall's just sitting there. And it's like, I'm thinking, oh my God, he only mentioned that as as an allegory. He mentioned Biden bashing his head against the wall. He didn't ask anything about the wall. He asked about going back to policies that work for this country. And Trump just ran with it. And he did it on another topic, too. And I'm thinking, my God, man, that's it. Trump's just a couple years younger than Biden, so, no. We need DeSantis or Senator Tom Cotton or what's the other guy from Missouri? Josh Hawley, he's a good one.
I was watching, what was it, a News Nation, which is 307
Yeah.
on the satellite. And it showed Trump giving a speech. I don't even know where, I think it was Oklahoma. He sounds just like he did in 2016.
It's the greatest hits over and over again.
And it isn't going to help him get elected this time.
He never says what he's going to do.
No.
He's just going on. I mean, it's like a friggin' Beach Boys concert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yay, we did great. Well, what are you going to do now? Well, we did great. Well, but what are you going to do now? But we did great.
And it's going to be even funnier. Who are the Democrats going to run?
Oh, man.
I heard that Biden and Kamala Harris aren't going to run.
No, they're going to get spanked so bad, they're going to get slapped in the last week, man.
You just watch the midterms. That's going to dictate how this is going to go.
Oh, they're going to get slapped silly. Because let's face it, nobody likes their ideas. Their ideas suck. Their ideas appeal to maybe 5 or 10% of the population, and most of them live in Burlington.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? No cops, no guns, no this.
Open the jails, open the borders, take away guns. It's all now gun violence. Like a gun can get up on its own and just shoot somebody. Here we are.
Well, you can't do that in Burlington. There's a city ordinance against that.
Oh, yeah, except for the black gangbangers, like the guy who shot up the friggin' line of people waiting outside that nightclub, almost killed that white girl from the college girl. Oh, man, here we are. This is another one. Was it year 2, more outreach for Biden? He says he's gonna, his plan is to get out more and talk to the American people. Oh, yeah, right. Outreach. Oh, sure. The guy can't string a sentence together, and he's going to go out amongst the unwashed, Philo?
Oh, spare me.
Oh, please. The persistence of the coronavirus, rising inflation, and congressional gridlock have exacted a bitter toll on his approval rating and threaten a midterm routing for his party. But the president sees no need for a major shift in direction. Like I said, we'll continue to bang our heads against the wall because, we'll get a helmet eventually.
Well, I think Mexico's going to build it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Mexico's going to pay for the wall so Joe can bang his head on it.
Bang his head on it, yeah.
Now there's a concept I can get behind.
What rolls down the stairs, a loner in pairs, and over your neighbor's dog. Oh, that's a log, not a wall. Log. Biden told the Democratic National Committee members during a virtual grassroots event Thursday that Democrats broadly have to offer a clearer contrast from the Republicans. He came out during that press conference and he says, well, what are they for? What are they for? Hey, did you ask any of them what they're for? Well, yeah, they've said what they're for, okay? More drilling and fracking. For clean energy, like natural gas energy, okay? Because everything is made out of natural gas, from fertilizer to damn near everything. Even hydrogen, for these stupid hydrogen-powered whatever they're talking about. Yeah, sure, fuel cells can generate some hydrogen, but most of the hydrogen in this country is made by using natural gas. So what are they for? What are the conservatives for? More freedom, okay? Freedom, liberty, no mandates. Let everybody go back to work. You can't tell people if they have to take this medicine or take this injection. No, that's antithetical to America's founding documents, all right? Freedom of the press, gun rights, so people can defend themselves.
You know what's happened though, Steve? The government has gotten so intrusive that everybody's dependent on them now. And that's what the government wants. They want you dependent on them. So when they tell you to run and be afraid, you run and you're afraid.
But only barely half of the population is afraid. We've seen that during the last election, Philo. That's how this idiot got elected. Because they scared the crap out of people with this virus stuff night and day, and they're still trying it now, but it ain't working anymore. And speaking of which, of armed citizens, did you see there were something like 20 carjackings in Philly over the weekend, Philo?
No, and I wasn't invited.
Yeah, I missed them, damn it. I wonder if it was down near Independence Hall. I'm telling you, when you go, we used to go down into Philly, right? And we'd take friends down there. We lived outside of Allentown. So every now and then, like when my mom and dad came down, I took my dad out to Valley Forge, in the middle of winter to see what Washington's troops went through. And trust me, they've got it set up like it was in the winter of 1778. So anyways, you go into Philly, and to get to Center City, where Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell and the Mint and all these other, historic places are, you have to drive through what would be, like Harlem or Roxbury, right? You have to drive through one of the nastiest neighborhoods to get from the freeway to Center City. And it's not pleasant. So anyways, there's like 20 carjackings, but leave it to the people in Philly, right? About 4 or 5 of these people who were attempted carjackers got shot by the car owners. The car owners are saying, look, man, I worked for this car. I paid for this car. I'm not going to, have to fight with the insurance company and do all this crap and maybe not even get my car back. So they drove around with their own pistols, and somebody comes up, knocks on the door, and points a gun, says, get out of the car. They rolled down the windows and shot the guys and then drove off.
Yay!
Yes.
Just remember, dead men tell no lies.
Yeah, nobody's gonna snitch them out, because if you saw somebody shoot a criminal, you think you're gonna stick up for the criminal? Yeah, here we are. Supreme Court, this is from today's paper. Supreme Court to hear affirmative Africanative action cases. We make allowances for blacks and Hispanics. That's insane. Yep. And the Asians, man, don't screw with the Asians, okay? You want to bring, like that article said, they want to bring people in from out of this country, but they won't let our own Asian kids, you get into colleges. And anyways, and Julian Assange's fight.
Did you see Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch? They asked him to put a mask on and he wouldn't do it.
Oh, yeah, that's NPR came out, and they proved. They said that the story was blatantly false. They have no, it's all anonymous sources, Philo. So Shannon Bream, that beautiful blonde lawyer on Fox News, she's on at midnight every night. She contacted all of her contacts at the Supreme Court. I guess both her and Laura Ingraham. Laura Ingram's a lawyer too. Ingraham had clerked for Clarence Thomas at the Supreme Court when she got out of Dartmouth, Philo. These blondes aren't stupid, They made fun of her, Laura Ingraham, on Saturday Night Live. But hey, Laura Ingraham went to Dartmouth. Laura Ingraham has a friggin' law degree. Laura Ingraham clerked for the Supreme Court. How many of these jokers on Saturday Night Live did anything comparable to that?
When was the last time Saturday Night Live was funny?
Yeah.
And when the last time was? When they had Bill Murray and Gilda Radner and Lorraine Newman and Jane Curtin. That's the last time they were funny.
They had a couple good segments a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. That one with Eddie Murphy, I have the clip somewhere in the camera. The one with Eddie Murphy and the friggin', and Santa left us all alone up here. He left ourselves all alone with no guns, and these polar bears are coming and eating our asses.
So what did they find out?
They found out that the story was completely BS. And they told NPR that it was BS, but NPR ran with it anyways. It's fake news.
So he didn't refuse?
No. And they even asked Sotomayor about it, and she says, no, that's not true at all.
I thought the guy had some guts and he said no.
Well, he
Yeah,
but she went on the record saying that it didn't happen.
well, that's news for you.
Yeah, that's
Good old NPR, I don't trust them anyway.
National Panhandle Radio. Oh, it snowed in Greece last night, Philo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Severe weather front had hit Greece, below freezing temps and snowfall, including Athens and many of the Aegean islands. Authorities warned the public to limit their movements outdoors to essential activities while schools were shuttered. 46,000 classes held online. Said the conditions would still be difficult on Tuesday. It's Greek snow, Philo.
What was better than their pizza? Their pizza's awful.
Yeah, I do like their grape leaves. And they're what are those lamb things there? They're like burritos. The Slouvakis or whatever.
I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, great stuff. They're heroes. They have lamb and sour cream, and they're to die for, man. Oh, the weed taxes in Massachusetts have twice as much as they pulled in liquor taxes.
Well, that's good.
Well, it's because the weed taxes are twice the percentage as the booze taxes, too. They don't mention that here.
Well, you know what's coming in February from Anheuser-Busch? Alcohol-laced seltzer water.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're putting it in everything. They've got it in root beer.
It's crazy.
They've got it in seltzer water. They've got it in tea. They've got it in lemonade.
You can't go into the grocery store, and you have to really read the labels to find out if the stuff is spiked or not.
Exactly.
Oh, and here we are. A woman got smushed by a train late last week, killing the 68-year-old driver. Less than an hour before the accident, a signal maintainer for the company that runs the rail service for the MBTA was doing regularly scheduled testing and preventative maintenance at the safety crossing. Would the arms come down, Philo?
Yep.
Said the T General Manager, Steve Poftak, P-O-F-T-A-K. Poftak? Where do these people come up with these names, Philo? A Scrabble game?
Poftak almost sounds Polish.
Poftakinski? I don't know.
I don't know.
The safety system was not returned to its normal operating mode. Investigators determined during the initial investigation that failure resulted in the gates not coming down in a timely manner and killed this poor woman when she got slammed by the T. Pronounced dead at the scene. Okay. You think her family's gonna get a settlement from that one, Philo?
Hard to say, but we got last but not least. Make it a good one.
Oh, already? Okay. Oh, last but not least, damn it. All right, last but not least, here we are. It's VE Day. This is from last Thursday's paper. Boris Johnson defies calls to resign amid scandal, and England drops all their mandates. Last Thursday. That's right, it's VE Day in England. And Fauci's days are numbered because independence is coming back to the USA. And very quickly, the big quit, tightest labor market ever. Well, that's because of the mandates. In Boston, they just extended them for another week because their people are saying no. Quit businesses. Well, once again, you waste a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully, we'll see you again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
And you can get the dog on your lap.
Inshallah, yeah. As the Hebraids say. Oh, yeah, he's heavy. He weighs 3 stone. So until then, get down on your hands and knees, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you in the men-only mosque, head east towards Mecca and pray, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar. Did I wait?
And a happy Deus Magnus S to everyone.
The political coverage. Look, some of the political players and some of the. Let me ask a rhetorical question. No, I won't. Anyway.
Now that's an insurrection.
do. Love Actually. It's a good movie. And I tell you, she loves me. She loves me like a rock. She loves me, loves me, loves me, loves me. And so look, to be honest, I'm just tickled to death that she's my vice president. And I mean that, not literally. You know, I don't want to be, you know, tickled to death, but I'd tell you the truth, if I had to go, tickled to death would be the way to go. Like, you know, that Tickle Me Elmo, good guy. I got him working on the vaccine. But look, I'll tell you right now, and I'd like to say it right to Kamala. Kamala, you're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful.
The sky is filled with good and bad. Mortals never know. Oh well, the night is long, the beats of time pass slow. Tired eyes on the sunrise, waiting for the eastern glow. The pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath. The drums will shake, the castle wall, the ring raised iron black. Ride on, ride on.
Shoot straight to them before.
No comfort has the fire at night that lights the face so cold.
Dance in the dark of night. Sing till the morning and light.
Red and gold to bring the balance back. Bring it back. At last the sun is shining, the clouds are blue, oh why? With flames from the dragon of darkness, the sunlight flies.